what the Clarity DAO is all about, kind of just long term, is that all of this is governed by the community. So, if the community is wanting to generate revenue and use that revenue to improve the protocol in some way, whether it's further development or marketing or what have you, the community can decide to do that.
What's up, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host here, Fareed. As a part of today's video, I'm sitting down with Logan Poncho and Justin Schreiner to talk about everything Clarity. Now, they've got a couple of updates, and they've also got a brand new video highlighting their vision, which I want to go ahead and share with you all watching today. Without any further ado, Logan and Justin, welcome aboard, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Fareed. Thanks for having us on, man. It's always a pleasure.
Likewise, not a problem. Justin, how are you?
Doing well. Appreciate having the chance to share what we've been working on over the past couple months here.
Of course, anytime. As a creator, that's sort of my duty, right? To try to highlight all the builders here in this growing space. And you guys have been one of the few that I've been able to have ongoing chats with to stay updated to everything Clarity. Before we jump into your recent video communicating the platform's vision, can I maybe just get a quick high-level recap of what Clarity is for anybody who's hearing about you guys for the very first time?
Yeah, really what Clarity is an easy way to create, manage, and participate in decentralized organizations. A lot of off-chain tooling, a lot of on-chain tooling as well. So yeah, we just make it easy to operate DAOs on Cardano.
And with respect to Clarity DAO, we touched on a couple of things last time. Can you maybe highlight, what some of the benefits are for the projects coming on board, but then also the projects are for the actual voters in the DAOs?
Yeah, absolutely. So really what we do is we make it a non-technical experience to go from zero to DAO. You can fill out simple online forms to create an organization with custom governance rules. You're able to create automatically executing proposals by filling out a simple online form as well. And then the community can come in, see these proposals, see what they're proposing, cast their vote, and then the proposal can actually automatically execute it if it reaches the execution threshold. So it's truly putting that autonomous into the DAO. I'm blanking on the word for it, but decentralized autonomous organizations, oftentimes that autonomous is missing, but that's what we've really been working on over the last few months, is making that possible and really pushing decentralization to the forefront of the operations of these new entities.
Thank you. As you mentioned, taking communities from zero to DAO. You guys recently released a pretty cool piece here, breaking down the Clarity vision. So I'm going to take a moment and listen to this together, and we're going to dive into actually what this means, obviously, for you and the communities joining the Clarity DAO platform. Now, for the viewers, if you guys do want to find out more about Clarity, you can head over to the official website, which is available at clarity.community.
In today's world, trust in institutions is at an all-time low. Powerful corporations and unelected regulators are increasingly making decisions with no say by the people affected. With this realization, a movement has formed around blockchain because of the fair and transparent community and decision-making systems it creates. We are in a defining moment in human history where we can continue to let centralized powers become more powerful or pull some of the control back into the hands of the people. The time is now for communities to build better systems that ensure control by the people and for the people. Introducing Clarity, a platform to create and manage any entity using transparent decision-making frameworks enforced by code. Clarity makes it easy to create and manage decentralized autonomous organizations, also called DAOs, where stakeholder consent is required before making important decisions. Stakeholders' decisions are made collaboratively and executed automatically, completely removing the need to trust someone to act on the community's behalf. Clarity provides organizations and entities of any size all of the tools needed to create and fine-tune their DAO for any use case through an easy-to-use interface. Join us as we build a future where the many outweigh the few.
Huge shout out to whoever put that together. I think that was really, really awesome from a visual standpoint. But then even better, right? Really hearing what Clarity is about, decentralization, removing trust between parties, and giving people the ability to have their voice be heard, right? In critical times where there are so many questions surrounding the validity of votes and just things that change how systems operate for a lot of people. So that said, there's, I think, quite a bit for us to touch on here. We're going to be, I think, jumping into the Clarity DAO and the Clarity token. We'll be discussing the Agora style protocol. And then there's also governance, revenue, rewards in your upcoming roadmap. Let's maybe kind of kick things off here with the Clarity token. So maybe Logan or Justin, can you guys give us an update surrounding, what the plans are for that, the utility of the token, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. So to preface this conversation, I mean, with the update we have coming up at the end of this month, what it does is it creates the ability to create an Agora-based DAO. We'll get into more of what an Agora-based DAO is in this conversation, I'm sure. But what this means is that not only are we offering this service to other DAOs that leverage the Clarity platform to have on-chain voting and have automatically executing proposals, but we're going to use our product ourselves. And this is going to trigger the launch of the Clarity DAO. And with a DAO, what you need is a governance token as well, a governance and utility token. So that is what's going to be triggered. And there's a lot of things to talk about in terms of the token dynamics and how it's going to be distributed over the next few years. And I encourage everyone to dive into the white paper that we'll be releasing shortly off the back of this video coming out, or probably before as well. But we'll get into protocol rewards, how people can, how the token is distributed through different mechanisms, different incentive structures as well. And then also into, the protocol is going to be decentralized. The fees will be decided by the DAO. So how much does it cost to create a DAO using the Clarity protocol? How much does it cost to create a proposal that automatically executes? How much does it cost to cast an on-chain vote? These are all going to be decisions made by the DAO. And all of those fees directly go into the Clarity DAO treasury, which is going to be governed by the Clarity token holders. And, there's a lot of different uses. We can use this this revenue to deepen liquidity on dexes. It can be used to hire out a marketing firm. It can be used for really anything that helps the development of the protocol or really the Cardano ecosystem in general. So it's kind of like building a decentralized protocol that's owned by the people and for the people. And it provides governance and treasury management that's easily implementable. Justin, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that.
No, I think you covered it well. Really, the purpose of the token is to be kind of the heartbeat of the Clarity ecosystem. So both for people who are using the ecosystem, the Clarity token can be used to take different actions on the system. So creating a proposal, creating a DAO, casting a vote, like Logan said. And then on the other hand, we also want to use it to kind of encourage people to take these actions. So by rewarding DAO participants and early adopters of decentralized governance with this token, we want to provide as many incentives as possible to kind of push the acceleration of decentralization.
Thank you both, gentlemen. And just to make sure I understand exactly what is launching, you guys have obviously collaborated with other teams, including GoKey, Cherryland, Token Allies, Genius Yield, and Matera, to name a few, in launching their own DAOs. But this is the actual DAO for Clarity itself, right? So interesting that as long as you guys have been building and supporting other people with their DAOs, that you guys actually had not had your own DAO up and running. So I never even took the time to think and to ask as to that, but I'm happy to hear that you guys are finally kind of giving your platform over to the community as well. Now let's jump into Agora. Do one of you guys mind just quickly explaining, what Agora is, what the benefits are, and just what that actually means?
Yeah, so really what Agora is it's an open source set of smart contracts that programmatically make decisions for organizations. So these are specifically created for the Cardano blockchain using Plutus. So they're very specialized to kind of a Cardano DAO. Basically, the idea of an Agora DAO is that anybody holding any Cardano native asset, basically an admin comes to Clarity or another Agora, service provider, and they're able to initialize an Agora DAO. So when they initialize this Agora DAO, they're basically setting the transparent parameters of how this community will make decisions. So a couple big decisions you need to make when you're setting up an Agora DAO is, what is the governance token of the DAO? So really this can be any Cardano native asset. So for our example, the Clarity token will be our governance token. Then you'll need to set up just some parameters as far as, okay, now how many of those Clarity tokens does somebody need to cast a vote to create a proposal? How many votes does a proposal need to be considered passed? In general, the great thing about Agora is that it's very explicitly defining how an organization makes decisions. You say, here is who is allowed to vote, here is the threshold that has to get reached, and it's very black and white. There's no, internal board at a DAO that really makes all the decisions, or, if the community votes one way, they can go in and really have their way be what actually gets executed. It's all very black and white, very programmatic, which I think is very needed in today's world. So that's what makes us so excited about DAOs, is the autonomy that they have.
The next thing I want to jump into before we kind of move on is how Clarity extends Agora. So Agora is this open source audited set of Plutus scripts, but it's not easily interacted with. Like, it's not like it's a front end where you can, go and click around. That's actually what Clarity provides. So there's a few different ways that Clarity extends this Agora protocol to make it easily adoptable and easily usable by projects in Cardano and people that are part of DAOs in Cardano. So the first thing is, there's a bunch of one cool thing about Agora is that after a proposal passes, anything can be run as a result of a proposal passing. It could be a treasury withdrawal. It could be staking treasury assets. It could be updating governance parameters. It could be controlling a protocol's parameters. So Clarity makes a library of these kind of automatically executing proposals, so people can easily create those and have kind of a robust way to manage a treasury in a decentralized manner. Clarity also hosts all of the off-chain services that are required to interact with the Agora protocol. And this is no small thing. Like, we run a Cardano node. There's a bunch of different chain indexers that we run. There's CTL servers. And there's also this proposal advancement bot, where instead of having to automatically move your proposal from draft phase to voting phase to locking phase to execution phase, it automatically takes the proposal through that lifetime. So really what Clarity does is it takes Agora and then it makes it an easy to use like infrastructure from an easy to use front end. And it's really been what we've been working on, is making it easy to govern and operate a decentralized treasury with truly decentralized governance with these automatically executing proposals.
I want to take the second here to urge for the viewers watching this video to check out our prior 2 or 3 interviews in which we've seen firsthand demos, right, of the actual front end user interface, which, as Logan mentioned, the team has taken a really, really big step to make this as simple and as understandable as possible, right? So you've got, sort of like this blank slate of fields. You can kind of plug in how voting power works, what tokens you want associated with everything, the thresholds, as Logan and Justin mentioned, before things take effect. Again, I commend and give you guys kudos in my prior videos because, again, in the space, there are so many complicated platforms, especially when it comes to DeFi. But even with governance, it tends to get very complicated. But from what I've seen with Clarity, it seems very, very simple, super friendly And as of late, you guys have added a bunch of new features, which the last one I think we talked about, which is a pretty big one, were the leaderboards. Now, before we dive into the next piece here, I want to take a couple of topics and maybe just kind of jam them into one, right? So we have the launch of the official Clarity DAO, which will be managed by the community. Can we maybe talk about the operating structure, governance, and then maybe just get a little bit more detail surrounding the initial liquidity event, given the fact that there will be an upcoming Clarity token?
Yeah, I'll talk a bit about the operating structure, and then I'll have Justin talk about the taste test a little bit. So we're collaborating with Sunday Swap for that, which is very exciting. So yeah, really, what you're going to have with the launch of the Clarity DAO is you're going to have this Agora DAO, right? So there's going to be a treasury address, there's going to be a governance token, there's going to be transparent on-chain governance rules, and really, this is just a like jurisdictionless entity of decentralized, like a decentralized association of members. So this DAO is not registered with any particular jurisdiction, but there is one kind of formal entity that will be involved with the DAO, and this will be the Clarity Foundation. So this is it's a company, a foundation, a nonprofit foundation incorporated in the Cayman Islands. And what the purpose of this entity is to interact with the real world on behalf of the Clarity DAO. So say the Clarity DAO wants to have a proposal to fund a team of 3 people to be like the marketing arm of the Clarity DAO. The DAO doesn't, because it's jurisdictionless, because it doesn't have a formal entity, it can't sign a contract with Inmoon, right? So this is where the Clarity Foundation steps in. Now, the sole purpose of the Clarity Foundation is to act on behalf of the votes that the DAO carries out. So yeah, really, that's kind of the 2 prongs that it has. You have the on-chain governance, the on-chain treasury, where people are voting for different things, and then if the DAO needs to act in the real world, sign contracts, or maybe you want to eventually get the Clarity token listed on a centralized exchange, this is the entity that has the it's incorporated and it can act in the real world. So that's how the organizational like structure will work for the Clarity DAO.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I've seen a very somewhat similar setup when it comes to different protocols. For example, you've got the Indigo protocol, right, which is a synthetics platform, but then you've got Indigo Labs who's developing it and basically doing things that may have to happen off chain for the protocol. Very similarly, we have Sunday Swap, the DEX, but then you've got Sunday Labs who's helping to guide everything on that end. Now, you mentioned the taste test earlier. Justin, over to you. Can you maybe give us a breakdown of, what the collaboration with Sunday Swap entails and what we can expect for the taste test?
Yeah, the guys at Sunday have been super helpful in getting this all set up. Right now, we're planning on, at the end of the month, opening up the taste test. So basically, this involves us committing a certain amount of Clarity into kind of the taste test contract. The contract will open for a little over a week, and at that point, community members will be able to come in and deposit ADA into that contract, and at the end of that period, the pair is created. So really, it's a way to kind of bootstrap some liquidity into the Clarity ecosystem and kind of launch the token in a more fair and decentralized way, where kind of the community and the market is helping to create the pair.
So one thing I just want to make sure to clarify here is the taste test taking place on the testnet with test ADA, or is that actually incorporating real ADA on the mainnet?
The taste test is on mainnet. It'll be on Sunday's website. And yeah, it's the real deal. It launches the mainnet Clarity token.
Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. Any maybe sort of closing thoughts surrounding, the initial liquidity event, maybe just any of the benefits or utility that we may have skipped when it comes to the Clarity token?
Yeah, I think there's a few things we can touch on real quick here. The first one is, one of the main things is governance, right? So the Clarity token will govern the Clarity treasury. The Clarity treasury is fueled by the protocol revenue, which is derived from any on-chain actions that happen with DAOs leveraging the Clarity protocol. Now, on top of that, you do have a lot of protocol rewards. So there's going to be a few years long distribution periods for a few different rewards buckets, which make up about almost a third of the total supply of the token. And this includes active staking and participation in the Clarity DAO. This includes Clarity platform usage. So if you are one of the most active people in DAOs across the Cardano ecosystem, then the Clarity platform tracks that and rewards you. And there's a lot of other smaller details involved in these buckets. So like I said, encourage people to read the white paper. And then the last thing is we will have it boosted rewards for people providing liquidity to the pair. So people that participate in the taste test, you'll be able to have your LP tokens. And we're currently working with Coinecta actually to have a staking portal where if you lock it up for a certain amount of time, say it's 4 months, 6 months, a year, you'll get boosted APY for doing so. So there's a lot of different exciting things and utilities to wrap your head around and get excited about.
Yeah, you actually touched on two things that I want to jump into next before we close out with just the future vision and the roadmap, which are the protocol revenue and protocol rewards. So with the actual official Clarity DAO launching, the next question I want to pose to the both of you are, what sort of governance actions can we expect, right, coming out for the community to begin voting when it comes to Clarity?
Yeah, so there's a few very important votes that will get started right out of the gate. So because this is a DAO, one of the first things that we're going to be voting on is the protocol fees. Okay, so Clarity makes it very easy to operate a DAO. So you get to have a treasury, you get to cast on-chain votes, you get to make automatically executing proposals. So the DAO is going to decide, okay, when using Clarity services, when using the Clarity protocol, how much does it cost to create a DAO? This fee will go directly into the treasury, which the Clarity token holders govern. How much does it cost to cast an on-chain vote? Do we keep it free? Is it 1 ADA? Is it a fourth of an ADA? I don't know. We're going to have a vote for that. And that fee, every time someone casts a vote, will go into the treasury as well. How much does it cost to create an automatically executing proposal? I don't know. That fee will also go into the Clarity DAO treasury for the DAO to vote on. And then, okay, you have this treasury that we're governing, and there will be other proposals that will take place as well. But another huge governance action that will happen early in the lifetime of the Clarity DAO is deciding the distribution rate of the Clarity rewards, the Clarity ecosystem rewards. So are we going to have a 5-year program to incentivize active staking and participation in the Clarity DAO? Or do we just want to fund 1 year at a certain rate and then kick it kind of down the curb so we can decide, in the next year, do we want to do the same? Do we want to do more? Do we want to do less? How many Clarity tokens are given away each month to the people who actively participate in DAOs through the usage rewards? And then, how much of the Clarity token will we be providing to liquidity providers? And then at what distribution will those be distributed out as well? So those are two of the biggest, governance actions that are going to be happening out of the gate. What are the protocol fees going to be, and what are the distribution of rewards going to be as well? Justin, there might be a few other ones that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think that just tees up what the Clarity DAO is all about, kind of just long term, is that all of this is governed by the community. So, if the community is wanting to generate revenue and use that revenue to improve the protocol in some way, whether it's further development or marketing or what have you, the community can decide to do that. If the community decides the best thing to do for the growth of DAOs and community governance right now is to not charge fees for these sorts of things, the community can decide to do that. So I think that we're definitely putting a good amount of power in the community's hands. But I think that is the trust that we have in our community, and I think that we're going to end up being one of the first organizations to really do this. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of very serious projects following suit.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing in this space is with respect to communities, making sure that they feel heard. And you guys are really taking that to the next level, right? Again, putting the entire Clarity protocol over into the community's hands. The very last thing I want to jump into as we get ready to kind of land the plane here is the remainder of the year and then just the roadmap for Clarity. So we've seen a lot here. I mentioned earlier, you guys collaborating with other platforms, giving them the opportunity to build their own DAOs, utilizing the Clarity Agora infrastructure. You guys have now also built out leaderboards. You guys have kind of finalized everything. What are you guys aiming to get next down the pipes in terms of the project roadmap here for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so I'll jump into this real quick, so Clarity Protocol V1. So that is what is coming out at the end of the month. That is what is enabling the creation of the Clarity token, the creation of the Clarity DAO. And really, what this does is it allows you to make decentralized, autonomous organizations from an easy-to-use front end, leveraging the Agora protocol. And then the next huge release is the software development kit. So what this means is right now the Clarity platform is the only user-friendly front end where you can access the Clarity protocol through. So you can go to clarity.vote and see that. But what this SDK is going to do is it's going to make it really easy to integrate with the Clarity protocol, so anyone can interact with these, on-chain treasuries and these on-chain votes and these on-chain proposals directly from their user interface. So you'll be able to interact with the Clarity protocol from any different website. You don't really have to, you won't necessarily have to know that you're using the Clarity protocol, which we think is very powerful and something a lot of people have been asking for. And then we'll move into Clarity protocol v1.5, and really the big things about this one is adding a few different a few more things to add functionality to the Agora protocol. So you'll be able to delegate your voting power to others. You'll be able to allow DAOs to have a co-signing phase, and then you'll also just have more automatically executing proposals so that you can participate in DeFi with the DAO treasury. And then I'll quickly go through the next ones. Integrations. We want to integrate with things like ADA Handle, with ADA Mail, with Dex Hunter, so within the Cardano ecosystem, but also integrate with things like Twitter, Discord, Discourse, and all of these other tools that DAOs leverage for communication so that they can seamlessly interact with the Clarity protocol and that on-chain infrastructure as well. And then we'll go into Clarity V2. The biggest thing with this is we want to have Agora DAOs and the Clarity protocol be able to support on-chain organizations that have multiple governance tokens, not just one. So that will be a big one. Then we also have a lot of excitement to integrate with CIP 1694 and SanchoNet. So providing the ability for DREPs to be able to poll their communities, and SPOs to be able to poll their communities based off delegation amount and delegation time as well. And then the last thing that we have on the roadmap here is the metrics. So create a dashboard where you can see all these different DAOs, what's in their treasuries, how many token holders do they have, how many voters do they have, how many proposals have they had. So you can see all these different on-chain metrics when looking through DAOs. But yeah, man, we're excited for the rest of the year and beyond. We have a lot of work to do, but it's going to be a fun year.
I'm sure that getting V1 out there was a huge achievement for you guys. And I'm really glad to see the SDK release out there, the integrations. I think that's going to be huge in terms of getting your name out there. But then also even thinking as far as protocol V2, right? So it sounds like you guys have taken the time to not just get the initial product out there, but be forward thinking as to what else can we do to make this platform even better, even more useful, and provide more utility to the Clarity community. So on that note, I want to turn it over to you guys for brief closing thoughts surrounding Clarity, anything that you guys want to share here. And of course, as always, for the viewers, I'll be leaving the links to everything that we discussed when it comes to Clarity, surrounding how to join their community, their token sale, their governance, and their upcoming white paper release as well down below. So maybe we start with Justin first, any sort of closing thoughts, and then we'll end off here with Logan.
Yeah, no, just in general, thank you for having us on and continuing to support us throughout the last couple of years that we've been building in Cardano. We've been, trying to do things the right way and move slowly and break as little amount of things as we can on our way to this version 1. Yeah, I think we've learned a lot through having an MVP out there over the last year or so, and very excited to finally flip this thing on and be on mainnet. We feel really confident about where we are and the work that's gone into the platform. And it's exciting to launch the token and kick this thing off and start to give the Clarity community some more power in the ecosystem. So yeah, very exciting next month ahead of us.
Yeah, congrats again. And it sounds like you guys will be giving more clarity to the Clarity community. Over to Logan Pancho.
Hey, yeah, I mean, thanks again for staying us with on us with in this journey, man. So appreciate your support. And the one thing I want to say is that, you know, Justin and I, the Clarity community, the other people on our team as well, the reason we're doing this is because we think it's going to change the world. This isn't something that we just think it can be cool to have. This is something we think is needed. We think that centralized power structures are plaguing society. We know that decentralized governance and transparent operations of organizations is going to be super important as we have this, you know, this internet driven global world. We need to have things that we can trust, and these governance structures are things you can trust because they're on a decentralized system, they're on the Cardano blockchain, and you can verify. You don't have to trust. So that's why we're doing it. Thank you again, and we'll see everyone around the community.
No, thank you. The pleasure is all mine. As you mentioned there, really summarizing the vision that we watched earlier, right? Talking about some of the problems and issues that we have right now with centralized powers and what DAOs or DAOs are bringing with respect to solving some of those issues. So, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it here. My sit down and update with the upcoming launch of the Clarity DAO, sitting down and touching base with Logan Pancho and Justin Schreiner. As always, if you guys do enjoy today's content or did enjoy today's content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by and you just want more content like this, highlighting all the builders here in Cardano, consider subscribing to the channel. And last but not least, if you have any questions surrounding Clarity, their vision, their roadmap, or their upcoming token sale, then make sure to go ahead and leave those comments down below. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll leave all the official documentation and link references down below. And I think that'll do it here. Again, thank you both, gentlemen. Wishing you all well. Take care, everybody. Cheers.